if ever Navi do overextend or put themselves in positions that are not favorable for them. But could they be playing it differently this time? It's a Freya XP and a Granger that might just want to be a bit more safe because you have distance, you have range, but the Granger isn't the most meta of gold laners currently.
In this situation, it's not too bad because out of every mage in the game, Lilia has one of the lowest HP pools, so it's easier for you to stack up on the Sky Piercer.
Yeah, and it seems like they just want a different route in the gold lane matchup.
I'm not so sure the route is okay or not. Let me be very clear because Navi, every single game they play, they change the strategy. They play global ban without playing global ban.
Yeah, this is why I think even a lot of us are really searching for that identity of what does really comprise of Navi. What does Navi
I have the answer.
Establish in terms of their identity?
Honestly, their identity is number one, help out the mid duo first. That's step number one. They need to survive. Mirai is such a playmaker. And then number two, get not Ayanami on a hero like a Masha, like a Benedetta, like an Esmeralda, someone that can dive all the way deep into enemy territories and take down their damage dealer. She might die. Honestly, she might die.
Okay.
But the team is okay with that.
So it's more of a glass cannon situation for
Kamikaze all the way.
All right. Because I think a lot of times too, whenever we see Navi on the defense, it's not like their gold laner or mid laner really goes down. It's just that they're forced to play from behind because their frontliners are always being punished or taken out every single time, which in this scenario hopefully is not just Mirai, because Keishi did pick up the Baksha anyway.
Yep, let's look at the bans here, by the way. Genji already banned out. 2 EXP laners ban out the Paquito as well as the Phoveus, and then 2 roamers here with the Atlas as well as the Matilda. Navi finish out their bans, Marcel, Hirara, Esmeralda, Akai, as well as the Sora. So they're really targeting Arya as well as potentially a tank jungle from Rui, bringing in that Akai. I think that's a very good idea, kind of forcing out Genji to use a damage dealer in the jungle, which I gotta tell you, it doesn't look like a very good assassin jungle matchup here. If they have a Bellman, Genji might survive this draft.
Yeah, and at least so far, Genji and their mid duo have been also picking up some of the more unconventional mid duos, I'd say, because yesterday I think we already got to see the Selena from them as well. But you might not really want to consider that if Navi just really want to go all in. You do have the Belleric, yes, and the Lilia, but at the same time, backline access showing that the Granger might just be a very vulnerable target could also be one of the considerations for Genji in this draft.
Right now, when it comes to elimination, I want teams to draft simple, right? Make a composition that has very little room for error. Even if you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just worried on the EXP pick here. And now, Navi, they committed onto this Eve. If they want a tank, something like an Alice might still be able to work out. Heck, maybe even a Uranus. Maybe not the best because you're going up against the Baxia, but that is one of the comforts of Genji.
Yep. So the Alice and potentially an assassin, which is still open to this point, but you already have to go up against an Eve. Maybe the Suyo would be tough to play in this game. But
very tough.
Even the likes of the Frederick, I think we already have to put that away now. So
that's good. Honestly, a Bellman is probably one of the better picks. It's just that, have they practiced it, right? Have they practiced it or not?
Navi did yesterday.
And they won.
Yeah.
They won. They were able to shred all the tanks. Their Bellman looked amazing. Now, 4 seconds in, this is going to be the final pick here. Guinevere as well as Ling. Now, this is very unorthodox here. Ling, I think it's okay.
We did say backline, yes,
but if Navi picks up a catch-type roamer, it's gonna be tough. I'm looking at picks like the Cho here. I have not seen a lot of Chos here in MWI.
No, there's still a Cho, there's still a Kaja even, if they really want to go hard on lockdown. But is this a Guinevere EXP? This should be the EXP, right? The Belleric is going to go in Rome, so...
There's a chance the Belleric could go EXP, actually.
You think so?
I've heard rumors from, let's be real, credible sources, right? So I'm thinking the wise choice, Belleric Rome, Guinevere there, and then the chip. They're showing the chip again. I don't know if this is the lineup for it. And look at this. It is probably going to be Beleric into EXP. So
Oh my god.
I got to say, reflections based on this draft, I think we're going to have a very chaotic game one.
I like chaos. Yes, I do. And we're definitely going to get it with the historic teams of Gen.G and NAVI. It's a blockbuster matchup. History between the two, not only in terms of their accomplishments in the MWI, but also last year in the knockout stage. But who gets revenge and who wants to move forward to the knockouts? We're going to find out very shortly. It's Gen.G versus NAVI. Athena, Gideon, take it away.
Thank you so much. Once again, we come into our second best of 3 here today. And this one's going to be a little spicy. We got Ling already showing back up here on day 3 of MWI. But this is going to be a make it or break it for either one of these teams. Momentum starts here. First team to get that match point so far, based on how the MWI schedule has been going. The sweeps are prominent.
For Gen.G so far, we've seen them kind of react onto the draft, but a very credible source out there for Lafel, with Arya using the Beleric onto the XP. Something quite refreshing, although it's not really on the standard that we've seen here so far for MWI. But the thing is, they're up against a Freya onto the XP, plus a chip tempo changer here for NAVI PH.
Yeah, the tempo changer and the tempo breakers are going to be really, really important in this game. Arya, as much as, you know, the Wrath of the Dryads is used as an initiation tool, might just be used as a replacement to deal with the shortcut from Chip. And now, I think I'm most worried about, it's going to be that Granger, right? Because Granger, the only situation that they want to have is, yes, I am winning from the get-go in lane, and then once I get out of the lane, I can clean it up easy when Ayanami does a majority of that work. Not only does Ayanami need to win this lane, but as you can see, patrolling along enemy territory just to give that info back.
It's all about Ayanami's move for this game to actually kind of compensate onto what others will be missing out on. You've mentioned the vision, but looking closer.
Actually, looking closer to this, the pathing coming in from Ruyi is very interesting. Starting on the bottom side small camps, taking another small camp, and then instantly going to purple buff before coming back to orange.
Oh, and it will be...
Ashley's fine, right? She always had her spatial migration. Also, still had that flicker as well, expecting nothing. And now look at this. They invade once more, and they see 0. All they see is one small camp, and Ling is nowhere to be found and already at level 4.
And that's the thing. That is how you somehow improvise a plan if you're the Ling, right? Because it's always going to be you invaded all over again. But the thing is that the neutral objective will be safely secured here by NAVI PH.
They didn't want to go for the contestation. They don't want to put anybody's lives at stake here. As long as nobody dies, it's totally fine. But the invade from Kenshi, as the small camps are the first to actually spawn. Look at the opposite side of the map. This is a set play from Gen.G so that they can set up and not let Rui get disturbed. But now Navi, they figured it out, and now they've adapted. One camp down unless Retribution is used here by Rui.
Oh, that's a retry activated for Keishi. We're trying to run away, but as you've mentioned, it's all about navigating the jungle safely for now, right? For Gen.G. It's preventing Mirai from finding the right target, which is actually Rui. And right on cue, it's going to be shortcut activated. And as I mentioned, it's going to be forcing out the Tempest of Blades here for Rui. Tempest of Blades right there, going in. Is going to be Rain with the RWM, not Ayanami, going wild. There are not a lot of kills. Actually, 0 kills at all from that initiation. It's just a purple buff being contested.
And that's bad enough, especially when you're on a Ling. Ruyi will have a little bit of downtime and doesn't necessarily have enough energy to go back and forth between lanes to search out for these finishing kills. However, not Ayanami has done a very good job of relaying the information. A great play from NAVI PH, finding the little pockets of space in enemy territory, figuring out what Gen.G were trying to do with the jungle path.
Plus, it's a good idea also to kind of brute force her way, especially as she didn't get her ulti at time, right? When the purple buff was kind of contested. Now we see some reactions all over the map here, some visions for Mirai as well. Looking forward to more clashes now that the shortcut has been activated here. Plus, another neutral objective we're keeping our eyes out on.
Now, the scary thing right now is the fact that Ashley can only do so much against that shortcut in comparison to Arya on this Belleric. So
Yep.
Arya somehow not only has to clear the lane a little bit faster than Ayanami, but may have to sacrifice her lane a little bit more during these neutral objective fights.
Okay, it's all about getting the better trade, if ever. It's now Mariah again with Ton onto Ashley as well. RWF, perfect timing here for Rian's first blood. Not Ayanami jumping on the line of fire here for Ruby and Ashley. She's keeping her at bay. And a fresh objective take here for Keishi. Ashley left defenseless even with the spatial migration. She will go down, girl.
Missed opportunity with the Wrath of the Dryads. Could have knocked up 2, and now it's going to be an ever slow bleed here. This is the traditional tank v assassin matchup. It becomes oppressive, and Genji knew that the early game was going to be a little rough.
It is. So now they follow suit onto somehow managing some of the lanes here onto the map. But for NAVI PH, they know they just have to interrupt, continuously interrupt Ropey in the process, even forcing out the Tempest of Fate just to try and survive. Rian getting the numbers rolling for her. Granger is looking quite good here. And Arya is just all over the place. She has to be at 2 places at a time right now.
It's a losing situation for Arya at this stage of the game, right? Ideally, Genji wanted to stay as even as possible to Na'Vi. This is not their item power spike. Sayori already is, again, getting zoned out in a majority of these fights, and now finally putting the influence onto Panda.
Even the gold lane isn't safe anymore. And a waste of a Rain of Dryad. And a big info here for Rain. Although Panda 1 will be able to get the kill, a jump and a space of negation. Veteran to climb onto Ashley, not Ayanami from the back with the Valkyrie descent. Ensures a double kill. Might go for the triple, but Sayori flickers just in time to escape the wrath here from NAVI PH. Rui being cornered out. Things are not looking good. The 3 women here targeting her, continuously hunting her down. A turret in the process taken down as well by NAVI PH.
Oh, and look at that. I just love the protocols that I'm seeing from NAVI PH. They're like, even if we do give up that space, let's double check it again. And Mirai coming in to join this fight doesn't have the shortcut, but is enough to show presence. And now the rest of Genji must contest.
Okay, Ashley, with a good entry point, but the damage just isn't there yet. They need to find a way to relieve some of the pressure, but without thinking so, now the last turtle for this round obviously might go onto the hands of NAVI PH. Arya, though, she wants to contest it. Round of the Riot, perfect timing! And a clutch steal home for Ruby. Rain with the RWM, but Genji manages to get out of the way. Ruby with the attempt blades, just one blade that she actually got off, and that is going to be a chase down kill here for not Ayanami.
Considering everything that has happened, pretty good overall. Like, Rui still, despite... Oh, hold on.
Oh, that's an immediate takedown onto Panda 1, but she will do. She will survive it, and that is quite scary now that Navi has tempo, and at will, they could actually go on for team fights.
Yeah, this 3.7k lead is starting to expand very far out of control as Ayanami is becoming a legitimate problem. The lane that was supposed to be controlled by Arya was going well at beginnings, but after this point, 3 turtles, it's not looking that great. This mid-game is going to be very vicious as Ayanami now controls the entirety of this bottom side, and they're even going for a lane swap from the side of Genji.
But at least we saw some great catch here for Arya, right, with the Wrath of Dryad. But the thing is, you mentioned the gold lead was quite onto the side of NAVI PH. So with that said, they have to be really careful onto where they will be sending at Panda. And right at you, he just purchased her a golden staff together with the corrosion side. Now we kinda get some action or little bits of damages coming in from Genji if ever, but still, it's a never-ending deny and somehow vision here onto the purple buff. But now Rui finally gets the purple buff, but in the process, it's not Ayanami doing her job, taking down turret after turret.
Again, Navi PH, they come in, they say, you know what, let's give them a forked option. In chess terms, is putting 2 pieces under threat at the same time. And unfortunately for Genji, they must only pick one. They chose the purple buff, they sacrificed their T2 because of that, and Ayanami is having the time of her life. Panda on the opposite side. The last hope here for the late game for Genji. They're going to need a lot of time for Panda to get to where they need to be because of how much pressure and most importantly, the shortening of the laning phase.
It's all about stretching out. the game here for Genji, just enough to try and give enough time here for Panda 1. A failed attempt there for Ashley. It's like a go here for Mirai, going in with a shortcut. It's only not Ayanami being called in. Very nice action though for Genji here. Just try and negate, cut their losses as early as possible, but no, it's Arya taking the risk and again. A Rain with the early RWM, and Rathatride will be catching up 3 members, but not long enough for Arya to stay alive. Not Ayanami out to Ashley, focus fire. Panda 1 with the free hits, now they finally do it, but at what cost? It's too expensive of a mistake to overstay their welcome there as NAVI PH slowly backs away. It's going to be a catch onto not Ayanami and Keishi. 2-4-2 trade-off there, right on cue onto the Lord jungle.
Oh my goodness, Ryu honestly could have maybe cleaned up the rest of this. And they got the Haas Claw in time. Unfortunately, just didn't want to give another Sky Piercer stack over to Riance. They need to find this shutdown onto Riance somehow. If they can, that extends the game for them and it doesn't allow them to actually snowball out of control, and they can focus all of their attention back onto Ayanami, who so far has been the big chunker. Even with Arya flickering in with the Wrath of the Dryads, bringing some members to a quarter depending on Lifesteal or Spell Vamp, some of the squishier targets, man, even Rain taking a good chunk of damage.
It's all about not Ayanami and Mirai doing a hell of a job here for game number 1. And as you mentioned, this is the kind of scenario that she really wanted, right? To give her a hero that could deal a lot of damage plus sustain the hell out of Genji. Now, we're noticing that Panda 1 actually has some of the items that she needed. Now, it's all about positioning. And the position here on the Lord is actually more so onto the side of NAVI PH, but for Genji, they're not letting go of this long push onto mid lane.
Nope, they don't have to do much. They're gonna try and threaten the T1, but Na'Vi is still trying to set up this fork. Getting a good push on the long lane is gonna force Rui, the fastest rotator they have on that team, to go and respond.
And that's going to be quite a sacrifice here, because Na'Vi now knows that it will be possible to try and catch a member here for Genji. Nice touch onto Ashley, but not Ayanami again with a chase down. Ashley's down, KG with a follow-up. Panda 1 already taken down. Rui with those bullets hitting on the right target. 3 women down immediately for Genji. And that was so worth it on the side of NAVI PH and not yet finished. Sayori will fall down as well. It's only Rui left here to try and get the Lord, but no, it's too risky as Mirai will also call for backups. What a way to assert their dominance here for Na'Vi.
I don't know if the secondary motion was necessary, but I think that at the end of the day, they're trading ults for ults, and honestly, the fact that Genji is losing some of these fatter ults is way better for Na'Vi, because they're not going to quote-unquote need the shortcut in enemy territory unless they are at all full fighting strength. And since all of them basically control the entire map, trying to go for that shortcut underneath towers at this stage by inhibitors is not going to be as worth it. I think Na'Vi understand this. They're going to go into their siege tactics. They're going to use Rain. They're going to use the RWM to control everything.
Yeah, it's all about reserving the right skill sets and combos here for NAVI PH. Looking at the items are quite looking good, and a huge chunk of it is onto the hands of Rian and not Ayanami.
Yeah, and the worst part, Ayanami, with these 3 items already looking to get some anti-heal on top of that, like the sustain is looking super good.
It is.
Fortunately, if they keep on chunking Ashley out, they're not going to have a secondary anti-heal user other than Sayori. And even then, Sayori can't deal with Ayanami alone.
She can find the right angles as of the moment, because Mirai and Keishi could actually pin her out of the crowd. Aurora WM red again for Rain. A perfect opportunity for them to annihilate members here for Genji. There's going to be an answer back here for Sayori. Double kill for Rian, making it a triple. Now they're chasing at Sayori. And Rian with a maniac. What a way to open up the base here for Genji.
Yep, now looking to close out this game. They've got a mid-wave to work with, and Panda, the only one alive. Unfortunately for Panda, she can't use any AoE other than the spinning light wheels. She will try, but the Lord-powered minions are just too much, with Rian zoning her out single-handedly. With each Rhapsody, this game closes out 17-5 in favor of NAVI PH.
A shot at Navi's redemption. That is exactly what they have in mind, what they have in store. And they finally did it here on to their first game on a very crucial